This is the MLW Radio Network.
Welcome, everybody, to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world. According to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie, we'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide and temporary stepdaddy, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what is on your mind?
What's up, stepdaddy?
What's going on, man? Good to see you again.
Good to see you. Good to be seen,
Yeah,
as the saying I stole says. I forget who said it, but like that's just good to see you. Good to be seen.
Yeah.
I think it's Michael Hayes, maybe, but
doot, and so forth. Yes.
Doot.
Doot.
Hey, I don't need Conrad suing us for the doot.
Conrad, thank you. We appreciate trademark and copyright to Conrad Thompson from adfreeshows.com. So
Daddy.com.
use promo code Meanie20.
Pretty much.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you, pal. All is well, man.
Good to see you. We had an episode last week, but we little kayfabe, just like Jericho's promo, we pre-taped it and we did a full Ask Meanie, which I thought was pretty fun.
That is pretty bad, man.
But here we are. We figured, Josh and I figured, hey, let's it's Thanksgiving weekend. I'm sure our families would like to see us.
Yeah.
So we did a little pre-tapage. Probably have to kind of sort of do that around Christmas too. But Thanksgiving was really good. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was nice, man. It was drama free, which is absolutely fantastic. I cannot complain about having no drama, which is great. We were at my brother-in-law's house in Chester Township, New Jersey, which is about 45 minutes from Manhattan. So we took the kids up there and we had a great time. We stayed there. It was like Tuesday night through the rest of the week, so it was cool, man. It was great. We had a really nice time, and again, like I said, any holiday that involves zero drama, I'm good with. So it was perfect. We've pretty much eliminated most of the drama in our life at this point. So yeah, everything was good, man. How about you? How much turkey and stuffing did you slam, bro? Because I gotta know, man. Was it legendary?
Whatchamacallit? We went to my sister's house. She lives over in Jersey as well. She's the opposite end. She's in South Jersey. And per usual, we show up. I take over the TV, put on football, and that's about it. But
that's awesome.
We got an inside joke in my house that we used to do Thanksgiving and Christmas at my aunt's house.
Okay.
My Aunt Marie, and the joke would be like, she'd say dinner will be at 5, and then like she wouldn't be ready until 9, right? So we go to my sister's house and we're like, are you keeping up the tradition, huh? Dinner will be done about 5, and then like 4 hours later, dinner's ready. So it was pretty good. I didn't fuck around with vegetables.
No. Who needs fucking vegetables at Thanksgiving? Throw that shit in the garbage, man. Come on.
Yeah. I'll get to the vegetables in January. I think I just posted a photo on Instagram. It was just a plate with meat and one potato in the middle of everything. It's like, a sweet potato, because I'm a mark for the old sweet potato.
You have to be, man. That's the only kind of potato that deserves to be on the plate at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
It's funny because every year we have a shop right here in Philly. So that's like our local supermarket, and it is this thing every year where you can win a turkey, and we call it the $500 turkey or whatever it is, because you have to spend X amount of dollars to get a free turkey. So we got a free turkey, which this week we've made. We took downsized and just got the smaller version, just so we can make our own Thanksgiving sandwiches, which we did last night.
Nice.
Turkey, everything that's in the meal was just on the sandwich.
Yeah.
So that was our dinner last night. So
that's the best way to do it, man. We just picked apart that turkey that we had left. My wife picked one up from the Giant. We have a Giant out here in Downingtown, and we got this big giant fucking turkey, and for the past Yeah, for the past, like, I guess week and a couple of days, we just finally finished picking through all of it. So, like I said, you got to just, you make do. That's what you have. And you get to have Thanksgiving for an entire week, which is great, all day long at lunch at work. And, it's rad, man. It was cool. It was a good week.
Like I said, this is my favorite part of the year, everything leading up to Halloween through New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Everything after New Year's Day is just dog shit. It's just like, it's like,
dude.
That's when, the sky goes, everything, every day feels gray until maybe like end of March, beginning of April. That's when I look at my watch and go, oh, the sun's still out at 6 o'clock, and start counting down to summer. But
right, that's the thing is typically like my metric is usually like St. Patrick's Day. Once I hit St. Patrick's Day, then I'm like, I know that like things are going to get better now from this point. But yeah, you're right. Like I feel like once the holidays are over and we're through New Year's, it's just like literally gray for 3 months here in Pennsylvania, and it's just the shits, man. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yeah, just you try to do what you can. That's why it was so awesome about the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
I went from beginning of New Year, January through February.
Yeah.
And like after they won the Super Bowl, you're just like in this afterglow of I gotta buy all the merchandise now.
Something to focus on. Yeah, you can go and do stuff. Yeah. That I wish. Jeez, what a year.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Freaking awesome year. You know what else is beautiful? Blue Meanie, the Pod Squad is here with us today. Nice to see everyone again. Glad to be catching up with everybody. And looks like a hashtag Sorensen level asked me how the move was. Have I not been on since the move? Since September?
I'm not
sure.
It's
been that long. I'm not sure. The move was fantastic, though, guys. It was great. We're officially back here in Chester County on the right side of the state here. Go Birds. First and foremost, go Birds. We're back here in the Philadelphia area. So it was good, man. It was crazy. But I think I may have mentioned this before, but one of the movers stole my son's Xbox. So it was
remember that.
Yeah, it was a whole thing. So that's all taken care of now. He's got a brand new system on the big flat screen, and everything is good now, man. Yeah, all is well. But
wait till you love that.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to it. Vanessa, I gotta tell you though, Meanie, and we should probably talk about this. Let's start the show with this. We built this city on Ask Meanie.
Oh, okay.
We built this city is the worst fucking song that has ever been recorded in the history of music. It is absolutely dreadful. I put up a tweet the other day. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can we do a disclaimer in the history of popular music?
There we go. The history of popular music. Yeah.
I'm sure some guy at a pub has wrote a real shitty song as well. Some guy
and listen
to heard of that nobody will ever hear.
And also, too, like we have to be mindful of the fact that Kid Rock just released a song recently, too, that was just totally fucking terrible. Did you see that shit, man? He's riding in the sky. He's riding in the sky on a giant middle finger, holding a bottle of whiskey, and it's a song about "Don't tell me how to live." Bro, stop fucking making music, okay? Please. That's enough. That is just horrible on my ears. However,
the lack of irony of somebody telling me what to do to tell him not what to do.
What? It was, if you haven't, I mean, listen, Pod Squad, if you haven't.
Tell me how to live. Well, don't tell me how to tell you not to how.
Right. Like, what are you talking about, dude? It's like, it was just, it's uninspired, like not good trope. It's just, it's terrible.
I liked Kid Rock before he became Bob Seger. And he, like the early shit was really good.
Yeah.
And at some point he just became like a Bob Seger light and just like, oh, free! Like you're picking the lowest fruit,
you're right. It's like Springsteen without any of the actual like soul in it. It's like somebody doing a really bad parody of Springsteen, right? Because Springsteen's really good. Like he's great about talking about the downtrodden and the oppressed and all this other stuff. And there's a lot of context in his the working man. There's a lot of context in his music. And here's freaking Kid Rock talking about snowflakes on a song. Like, what the fuck, dude? Shut up! Nobody wants to hear this shit. It's terrible. It's awful. I don't care what anybody says, but it's shit. It's dog shit. But I digress.
His new shit is dog shit. His old shit is good shit.
He did a record with Eminem that was really solid. And what was that record? His first one, was it Devil Without a Cause? Was that the first like mainstream one he did?
That was his first mainstream.
Right.
Who's a big early Kid Rock fan is fucking Danny Doring from
Really?
ECW. Like, he was on the Kid Rock thing before Devil Without a Cause.
Really?
Yeah, he was into all that early stuff when he had the box haircut and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, when it was up, the early morning Stone Pimp. Yeah, I'm familiar with all that stuff. Yep. Yeah.
And Danny Doring, shout out to Danny Doring. I love that guy. He was smart to the Kid Rock stuff way before the rest of the country. So
that's crazy. And it's funny. It was that early morning Stone Pimp stuff. I like that sound. It's the early, like, I guess early to mid 90s hip hop, and it's just rapping. And I discovered that record around the time that I discovered Eminem's Infinite. So it's like you listen to it, it's very Midwest sounding hip hop, which is cool. But you can go back to that and listen to that stuff. It's very solid. But I put up a kind of sort of controversial tweet this week about Jefferson Airplane, which became Jefferson Starship, which then just became Starship, who released a song called "We Built This City." And guys, that song is garbage. I heard it on the radio. We were taking the kids to an arcade around the.
Is that what inspired it?
What's that?
Is that what inspired the tweet?
Yeah, we were listening to the radio. We're in Jersey, and all of a sudden, we built this city, and it's like, oh my god! Like,
you weren't angry because you were in Jersey.
I was angry because I was in Jersey, and Jersey drivers are terrible because they were all cutting us off.
Not the people, just the traffic.
Just the traffic is brutal. But I say that to say that song just made me feel some kind of way, strong enough to tweet about it. And then I got a bunch of feedback on it, and somebody wrote something about is that song, or actually it was Lauren from Ad Free Shows tweeted back and said something about I melt with you makes me want to jump out a window, and I'm like, I melt with you makes my brain want to melt. Like, so I was like, you know what? Let's throw it to the Twitter machine. Let's throw it to Twitter and see what comes up. And almost 1,000 people voted on this thing, and it was super close. But everybody agreed with me that "We Built the City" was a terrible, terrible song. I'll you that. It's just not good. And the people, what made me even angrier is people like, oh, it's an amazing song. I love this song. I love listening to it. I'm like, you guys, like, come on. Like, friend of the show, Ringside Rant. I'm calling you out right now, brother. That song sucks. It's terrible.
Which one is he liking?
"We Built the City."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, man.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And Vanessa says they built the city on rock and roll. That doesn't sound like it's too structurally supportive. You're right. The foundation is built on rock and roll, which is naturally vibrating. It's terrible. Yeah. It's terrible.
Now, when it comes to "I Melt with You," I'm a little bit older.
Right.
It hurts to say that. But I grew up in an era where that song was like the sound, that whole sound of that song was a sound of a generation, "I Melt You." It was them. They were modern. The band is modern English, but then there's "Flock of Seagulls" and all that. There's like a whole wave,
like synth rock kind of thing. Yeah,
synth rock. Yeah, thank you.
You got it, man.
That just like really hit that generation. Like, there's music, there's movies, all accompany that sound, like early Scandal with Patti Smythe. Goodbye. That kind of vibe where
right
yeah. Now maybe to somebody who came after me, they might hate that song, but like if you grew up in that era, that was just, I hear that song and it just takes me back to a certain, that's the beautiful thing about music. A song can bring you back to a certain place, and like there's like Bruce Springsteen's "Hungry Heart."
Yeah,
I think about myself as like a 9-year-old kid walking down the boardwalk in Atlantic City, playing games, trying to win a teddy bear or something like that. I smell the funnel cake. Just stuff like that. I smell the salt water in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But "We Built the City." Yeah, fuck that song. That's fine.
It's so bad.
The song is that the video has. Here's my useless knowledge. The video has a photo of the Sands Casino in Atlantic City for just some whatever reason. They
Why?
just put this random casino from Atlanta, and maybe that's why I watched the video. I was like, oh, let me look at the sands again. Meanwhile, I look out the window. I was growing up. Maybe because the thing that was in my town was in that video. I watched the video, but
that could be it. Just a little hometown pride, I'm sure. That's probably what it was.
I'm big on hometown pride, civic pride. That's why I don't understand like people who root for teams that aren't in the city. You know, like
I was actually I watched what do you got there? It looks like delicious coffee.
For the folks not on Patreon, which why not?
Yeah, you should be. Register right now at patreon.com/DeMeanie.
I am drinking a cold brew infused. Well, not infused. I just put some eggnog in it.
Yes. That is the only way. That's the only way to drink coffee at this point from the day after Thanksgiving through to January 2nd. It's the only way to drink coffee.
I'll spot you the week of Thanksgiving too.
Fair. Yeah. I'll take that too. Yeah. You gotta have eggnog, man. I have some in the fridge. I was so disappointed when we drove out. I'd stopped at there's this like little convenience store up the road from me called Royal Farms. It's like this like super Delaware thing. It's like the Wawa of Delaware, right? And I got some eggnog and I left it in the car, and I forgot that I left it in the car, and it was like warm for the week. I was like, oh, fuck, I can't believe so I had to go stop at an actual Wawa and go get some. But
did you smell it?
I didn't open it, no, but it was just like sitting in the sun, and I knew, like, you know, when you know, and you're like, no, I'm not going to do this. This is not going to end well. Like, you're going to open it. It's going to smell like low tide. And you're just like, no, I'm not going to do this. This is going to be terrible. You know, fuck that, man. I'm not doing this shit. No,
like low tide.
Ooh, it tastes like low tide. That's I wasn't about to do it, but yeah, that's my holiday go-to, man. And I try to enjoy myself in the holidays. You know, I'm not feeling so great about myself with like putting weight back on with the pandemic and everything, but I figure the holidays I'm gonna just enjoy myself and try to be smart and sensible, but also, you know, probably ravage a couple pies and, you know, get back on it next year. And, you know,
so what's your favorite pie?
My favorite pie of all time or holiday?
And in a non-rock way.
Yes, in a non-rock way. Wink, wink, understood that one. No, I mean, I guess if you're talking about like for the holidays, I'm a big pumpkin pie fan. Love that shit. My wife also makes like an apple crumble kind of thing. She made it for Thanksgiving, and it's in a big tray. Next time you come over, I'll have her make it for you. And it's just in this huge like pan, right?
That's my next question. Directions, please.
Yes. So you're gonna go down to the corner. You're gonna find a guy in a poncho. His name is Hank. No, it's but she bakes too, right? And she makes like all kinds of like pies and cookies and cakes and shit. And so that's my favorite, like my favorite pumpkin pie. My favorite pie of all time, though, is key lime pie. I know that's a very controversial take, but I love that shit. Love it so much.
That is your "We Built the City."
Wow, Meanie. That's it. I quit. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I just, it's something about, I don't know if it's something like from my childhood or something about like, I don't know. Oh, I know, dude. No, I'm just messing around. Yeah. I don't know if it's like something about my childhood or something that I enjoyed. I just like every year for my birthday, that's what I ask for. I'm like, key lime pie. I want a box of donuts from Federal Donuts, which if you are in the Philadelphia area, and we are not being paid for this plug, but if you're in the Philadelphia area, you need to go to Federal Donuts and go just indulge because they're freaking amazing. And then I ask for a key lime pie because that's what I like. What about you? What's your favorite pie?
Yeah. Well, you know, first and foremost, I kneel before the pumpkin pie.
Hell yeah.
But what is it? Oh my God. Start rattling off names.
There's apple, there's blueberry, there's cherry, there's lemon. There's lemon meringue, which is good shit. Such good shit, Meanie. There's key lime. There's Pod Squad. Help us out here. There's sweet potato pie, which Patti LaBelle makes a fucking incredible sweet potato pie. You ever had that shit?
No.
Go over to Walmart. They usually have them around this time. They have them in like boxes.
I'm trying to think. It's not rice pudding pie.
Ooh, but that sounds incredible.
But no, what is it? It's like the rice. Pecan. Hold on. Somebody in the room said
pecan pie is good. Yeah, pecan's good. Apple pie all the way.
Talk about things that remind you of something. Every time I hear, you know, pecan pie, whatever, that was my mom's favorite. So,
oh, wow.
Every now and then I have a slice in her honor.
There you go. There you go. That's awesome, man.
You know,
That's awesome.
Banana cream.
Yeah, banana cream. Yeah, that's a chocolate cream.
I think the word I'm looking for is coconut cream pie.
There you go. Coconut cream pie. Yep.
Yeah, thanks, Travis.
Yep.
Yeah, you jarred a memory with the banana cream, which made me think of coconut. Dude, I can't speak today. Coconut cream pie.
Yep.
It's the tryptophan.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's still in your system, ingrained in you. Plus, with the 5G, with the vaccine, it's like all getting all mushed up in there. You know, it's all crazy. Everything's going nuts. Yeah, I get it, man. I'm with you.
Going nuts. I've been nuts. Just first lady sit up, you hey, but yeah, dude,
shoe fly pie. There's a good one. There's a good one we could talk about. You got to go to Lancaster to get a good shoe fly pie, though.
I had some a couple weeks ago. We drove out to Lancaster for what's that fucking buffet there? There's like this.
Oh yeah, what the hell's the name of that?
I don't know, but like we went there and they had some. I was like, oh my god, I gotta have some shoe fly pie. I can't think of it.
I don't remember. Every time we drive down there though, because I'm pretty close here down in Downingtown. You know,
this is huge.
Downingtown, Coatesville, right into Lancaster, and there's just every couple of feet you see a place that's got shoe fly pie. So you definitely, it's worth a stop if you're gonna do it. You got to do it right. So, yeah, I mean, I enjoy all kinds of pie. I'm not a cake guy though. Like my wife makes Jewish apple cake, which is, again, I have to just give you it's just going to be like a cornucopia of cakes and desserts for you when I come over. Like, hey, Meanie, here you go. But no, I mean, that's pretty much the only cake I really enjoy. Cheesecake though. She's a big cheesecake person. Shady Maple Buffet is I believe what you're looking for.
Shady Maple.
That's the one.
The place, Richard Christy called them. Or a prank show, and had them read off every menu on the item.
Can you read me the menu?
Can you tell me what kind of food you got there? And she's like, all of it? Yeah. And she literally just looks at everything and reads it. And he goes, oh, your phone cut out. What was that last part? I love those guys.
I was going to say, I saw your tweet about them mentioning you on Howard Stern. How many times have they said your name? Like, are you aware? Because that's pretty fucking cool, right? To be brought up on Stern. Like, that's amazing.
That's fucking legendary.
I feel like you're over. You're so over.
They brought me up twice. My work name and my shoot name.
Wow.
They called in some wrestling radio show on the internet or whatever, and Richard's like, I miss wrestling, back in the old days. And he just starts saying all these wrestlers' names in alphabetical order. There's Bob Backlund and Blue Meanie and just like they kept
popped. Yep.
They kept putting them in pause. They're like, all right, anything else you want to say? And stop, and he would just go back. He was like, oh, it's just like the old days with a go back to listing all these names. The second call, they were ribbing Riley Martin, and they were having him read they were kind of like doing the Bart Simpson thing where write down a name and he goes, he says the dirty word, a name that sounds like a dirty word, but they're like, man, we got to throw in some real names in here or he'll catch on. So they're like, and Riley was like, to Brian Heffron in the mailroom. Just and awesome, it threw in my name so that he wouldn't catch on to all the dirty names.
Oh, that's great. That's funny, man. Did you ever go to Stern? Were you ever on the show?
Never on the show, but I've been in the studio.
Yeah.
I got the 25-cent tour from Richard. Anytime we go to New York, hey, come on up. And we'd go up and he'd give us a little tour of the studio and
that's cool, man.
Like that. Some kayfabe stuff and not so kayfabe stuff, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I actually, surprisingly enough, Meanie, here's a fun Adam fact. I have also been to the Howard Stern show. Not on air, but I was in the studio. That is correct.
It's very chilly in there.
So I was at the K-Rock. Did you go to K-Rock or did you go to the satellite one?
Satellite.
Okay. So I was at the K-Rock studio in, let me think about this, 2003 or 2004. I can't remember when it was. Someone will have to do the research on this, but a friend of mine named Jeff Schiller, he was a trainer for Bally's at the time. He's a personal trainer. and they were doing a contest called From Lard Ass to Hard Ass. And it was two guys that were competing to lose weight. And they got like, I don't know, it's like 25 grand and like a night with a porn star or something. And there was this contest inside of Bally's to work with Stern. And it was Jeff versus Baba Booey's trainer. So, like they're training these guys and stuff. And, I've been listening to Stern since I was, I can't even, probably way too young to be listening to Stern, right? Early 90s, like in my mom's car. And Jeff says to me, he goes, hey, listen, he's like, cancel your plans on Monday, call out of work. He's like, I'm going to take you to Stern. And I'm like, oh shit, let's do this. Right. So I get there and Ronnie, the limo driver, meets us at the front door. And he's just like, Ronnie, he's just like yelling and hollering. I'm like,
fuck you looking at, pal?
No, yo, what the fuck is your problem? Yeah. I'm like, yo, dude, it is like 4:30 in the morning. Like there is no reason to be so aggressive. Right. So we go upstairs and we're in like the K-Rock and the waiting room and the lounge and stuff. And there's two parts of that show that I remember particularly. Artie Lang was wasted because he lost a ton of money on the NCAA basketball games. He lost a shit ton of money. So he comes stumbling in the green room and he's super cool guy, like amazing dude. Right. And Baba Booey came in and I got to talk to him for a little while. But the two parts that I remember were that Fred Norris said hello to me. And if you're a fan of the Stern Show, you know that Fred doesn't talk to anybody. Fred doesn't say more than like 6 words pretty much like all year, right?
He's the spaceman.
He is the spaceman. And I'm standing in the doorway. Like I'm just like hanging out, and I'm just like standing in the doorway waiting for Jeff to go in. And Fred comes out to use the bathroom and he walks by and he's like, hey kid, how you doing? Good, sir. How are you? Oh, great. Enjoy the show. And he walks and goes back into the restroom. And he comes back out. I'm like, wait. And I said to Jeff, I said, did you hear that? Fred just talked to me. Like it was crazy, right? So he comes back out and like, hey, have a great day. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy, right? Like I felt like an important person. And then that was also the day that Courtney Love showed up to the show. She called in and she was wasted or she was on something, I don't know. And they had to rush through his segment. And as we're down in the lobby, we're leaving. And she walks in and she's wearing what appears to be like almost like a cheesecloth. Like it almost looks like a window curtain, like a window dressing, right? It's wrapped around her head. It's it's dirty. Like it looks like she's been smoking cigarettes in front of it for probably 3 years. Her makeup is all over the place. She's got no shoes on and she's holding this red rose that she's walking in the studio with Stern. She basically like floated by us, man. Like it was this really bizarre thing, but yeah, that was my I didn't get to meet didn't get to meet Howard because he sits in the studio the whole time. Like while they're doing the show, he pretty much never leaves his chair. So it was a wild experience though. It was a lot of fun. But
growing up, listening to Howard Stern was like an experience for me as a kid because growing up in Atlantic City, we didn't have his station, right? We didn't have in New York it was K-Rock, in Philly it was WISP. But then somebody smarted me up to the fact that you can hook your cable up to your stereo and get FM stations from Philadelphia. You get the Philly rock stations. So here's what I would do. I would get get a cable splitter, that have the one cable go to my box and I have another one go into the antenna for my radio. And that WISP would come in through like crystal clear in Atlantic City, 60 miles away. So then in order for me to listen to Howard Stern, listen to the whole show, what I would do is the audio out, like the thing that where you plug in your speakers, not the speakers where you have to wrap it around and screw it in.
Right, that two-prong deal. Yeah. Yep.
Plug that in. I would take that. So the sound that's supposed to be going out to a speaker, I would run it into my VCR, into the audio in.
Oh.
So then I would turn on the local cable access that would give you the weather, time, and all that stuff. So there would be a clock on the screen. So at 6 a.m., my VCR would go on and hit record in slow-mo. And I would have a picture of the local community thing with the clock on it, but the audio would be Howard Stern.
No shit.
So I would come home from school at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, hit play, and I'd listen from Stern from the beginning. And when they go to commercial, I'm looking at the clock and I'm fast forward looking at the numbers go by on the screen. back in the day, Stern's commercials were like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you tried to pick them up on the way to work, you were screwed if you caught them in commercial because you wouldn't hear anything.
Right. You wouldn't hear any of the show. Yep. I remember. Yep. It was like this giant, he would do like 45, 50 minutes like straight. And then he'd be like, oh, we got to dump to commercial. And then it was literally like 10, 15 minutes of commercials. It was insane.
Yeah. So I would do that and fast forward through the commercials that way with the VHS and stuff like that. And then I would just, use the same tape the next day and do it the same way all the way around, so it's pretty cool.
That is pretty wild, man. That's a pretty inventive way to like get the content though when you need it. Like that's pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah, I was crazy like that. Just like I would do make my own music videos with the VCR on top of VCR. You put the one tape in there and you hit record and play and you record the one clip, stop.
And then go back to another. Yes. Yeah. And put the other one in and then mash it together. Yeah.
And then I would do the same thing with the thing I would do with Stern, but with that, I'd put the tape on that. I just made the entire reel of clips. I'd put that in the top VCR, put another tape in the bottom, hit play on the VCR and the stereo at the same time, and hit record on the VCR at the bottom. And I would get the music to overlap the video montage I just made.
Oh, that's
so
crazy.
I would make my own wrestling music videos. Like, here's some NWA. Here's I just high spots.
Right.
Making my own music videos that way with the my stereo, with the audio from my stereo feeding into the VCR.
Oh, that's wild, man. That is cool, dude. I used to
somewhere. I used to tape trade with Rob Feinstein back in the day.
Really?
And I met him when we were teenagers. So like, I knew him for a while. So I would trade him whatever I had of something, and he would trade. And I would put some of those music videos on there. And somewhere out there, there's like a couple, videos out there that have these random music videos on there that I made, which is kind of weird or kind of cool.
That's cool, man.
Little Easter eggs that are out there.
I remember, so the one show I like pretty vividly remember from Stern obviously was his 9/11 broadcast So I was actually, I don't know if I've mentioned the story before here. I think I told it on my show on Foundation Radio, which you can actually check out right now at foundationradio.net. Great show. Meanie's going to be on there pretty soon as well. We're going to have a nice in-depth conversation. Looking forward to that. As has Real Dad, Josh Chernoff, which we hope he's doing well today in Atlanta. We are looking forward to seeing him live in location. Josh Chernoff from So Says Chernoff. So I remember being in school. I think I was in 11th grade. It was my junior year of high school, and I had a Discman, right? But I think my Discman was all fucked up for some reason. I mean, you remember that. I'm like,
as most were.
You breathe wrong and the fucking thing fell apart, right? So for that day, you were literally your own DJ as you were walking, right? So I had this Walkman. For some reason, I had it, and I used to listen to Stern on. It was a tiny little like tape player, and I had these shitty little headphones, and I was listening to Stern. And I used to take it on Tuesdays because Tuesdays was my science lab. And I would be at the top of the high school at like the third floor on the west end of the building. And there were windows above us in the room. So I got crystal clear coverage. And all my other, like my first 3 or 4 classes were all pretty much in the same hallway, right? So I got crystal clear coverage pretty much of Stern. So for the first like 2 hours of my day, I'm in the science class. It's the lab, right? Well, all of a sudden I'm listening and it's 8 something. And here comes Baba Booey talking about 9/11 and like the plane hitting the tower, and I think he was on for like 6 or 7 hours that day. Like he didn't stop broadcasting until about 2:00 that afternoon. Like I think he just went. It was like a marathon, right? And I remember being someone, because my school, I won't mention which school, but my high school, they wouldn't tell us anything about what was going on. They were very quiet. They wouldn't announce anything. And we found out the reason later was because a lot of the kids that went to my school had parents who worked at the Twin Towers. And they were trying to not to create any kind of overarching like fear and like it was really crazy, right? But I remember being the person that was like filtering this information from Stern, listening to these. It was crazy, man. It was just, and I hope someday that the broadcasting world will give Howard his credit for being a part of that. Because every year I wait for it. Every year the 9/11 comes up, I wait for him to get his nod as far as the 9/11 coverage, and it never happens. And I think it's a tragedy because he was the voice of New York and the voice of the country that day, and it's just, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, somebody took that broadcast and linked it and dubbed it with the actual news footage of that day.
Really?
Go on YouTube. Because I just went down the 9/11 rabbit hole recently, and that's because, like, over the summer, I got a bunch of documentaries on it. I was listening to the audiobook of the guy who killed bin Laden, Robert O'Neill, which is fascinating. Just how he takes you through all that. But yeah, and then I was going through YouTube, and there's the audio of, like, kind of like how I would make my own videos,
Yeah.
the audio of the Stern broadcast with the local news over top of it. And the stark contrast from where the TV news was that morning before the crash and then after the crash, because, like, they were just doing the regular old interviews with coming up, such and such, we got so and so to talk about such and such, and then boom, and then they showed the footage and all that stuff. But credit to Howard Stern, he was the first. He said, "Oh, it's Osama bin Laden."
Well, he said it was a terrorist. He said it was a terrorist attack. He was I think the very first person, the very first media entity to say explicitly, because, I mean, remember, he's in New York. He's watching this, right? And when the second plane hit, that was the first thing out of his mouth. I can recall it almost clearly. He's like, "We are under attack. This is a terrorist attack." And it's weird, right? Like, because I remember watching that footage too, because this year was this past September was the 20th anniversary of that, and it's weird watching all that footage, like from the Today Show and like Good Morning America, leading right up to that time. It's almost like watching a piece of that, like it's almost like watching the world break, right? Like the way that everything, because now, like, it's hard to explain to my kids. Like, my oldest son is 8, and they just, like, started recently learning about, like, 9/11 and, like, the things that are happening. And it's weird to explain a world to him that existed before that, because, like, I even try to think about it, and it's like, it's such a foreign idea. It's a foreign concept now. But it is weird to watch everything screech to a halt and then realistically the world break. So I'm looking forward to finding that footage online and listening to that, because I really, that it's quite a segment of history which I think doesn't get enough attention, and I think doesn't get the credit that it deserves. But Travis, you can watch the full Howard. Oh, you can watch the full Howard TV in 9/11. I'll have to look for it. I haven't been able to find it. I don't know if they if Sirius strikes it or whatever, like they copyright or whatever.
You have to kind of creatively word it in the description,
Yeah, I'll have to take a look for it. But one of the things I wanted to touch on real fast before we get into Ask Meanie, I wanted to talk about last night's SmackDown. Full disclosure and shoot, we are recording this on Saturday morning, December 4th.
Oh, inside baseball.
Little inside baseball. Thank you very much. So John Alba just tweeted something that I thought was very interesting. It seems to be stirring up the Twitter sphere right now. Friend of the show, John Alba from Ad Free Shows. Roman Reigns. So last night was the big main event between Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns.
I haven't seen SmackDown, so everything you're about to tell me is fresh to my mind.
So you haven't seen it, and you're okay if I spoil, right?
Please,
okay.
Please.
Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear anything on SmackDown by the time we listen to the show on Monday, please fast forward right now for probably like the next 15 minutes, okay? So, okay. You have been warned. All right, so John Alba tweets, Roman Reigns is really great, but this title reign is not helping a lot of people. And people are exploding about this right now, Meanie. Because what happened last night, Sami Zayn gets into the ring. He has this whole really funny segment with Brock Lesnar. Like, it's really very, very funny. Basically like a buddy cop thing, and Brock's basically kind of like forcing Sami Zayn to go and fight Roman Reigns tonight. Sami Zayn gets into the ring. He's talking shit to the crowd because obviously he's in Texas and he's just doing his thing, which Sami Zayn's one of my favorite right now. Like, I would say top three active wrestlers right now. And he's just...
His character's kind of a shoot.
Honestly, yeah. Like, it's kind of like it's, and I guess it was Bruce that said that, like, when you take your personality, who you are, and turn the volume up. And that's in some ways who Sami Zayn is. And he's just fantastic, magnificent at it. If you want a great study And if you're trying to break into the business and you want to look at somebody who's doing great character work, and I'm sure you could agree with this, someone who's been in there. I mean, that guy is killing it, man. So he's going up, he's talking to Brock Lesnar in the ring. Brock's in the ring with him, and Brock starts just giving him like suplex city, right? He's giving him German suplex after German suplex, hits him with 2 F5s, and then all of a sudden Roman Reigns comes out, right? With the Usos and Heyman. And now I'll preface this by saying that I absolutely fucking love Roman Reigns. I think it's the best storyline out there in any company, anywhere. His arc, the bloodline, Heyman, everything is amazing, right? Shout out to Paul Heyman, who called me Goober on Twitter a couple weeks ago as well. So they prop up Sami Zayn in the corner of the ring, and my thought is there's going to be some kind of swerve, right? Brock Lesnar's going to beat the dog shit out of Roman Reigns. He's going to throw Sami Zayn on top of him, and Sami's going to be the champion, right? Like, that's where my brain went, right? Because expecting unexpected and Vince and good shit. He puts him in the clutch, the submission move, and he taps out in 11 seconds. Sami Zayn, and the match is over, and Roman wins. And I'm thinking, wow, that was weird. That was the first time I like kind of had a question about like creative in that way. You know, it was like, why did we build up Sami Zayn this whole way and only to have it go back to Brock and Roman? And then I started thinking about things like with Cesaro, that whole push where Cesaro went up and they were going to throw him against Roman and they were going to do this and they were going to do that. And Cesaro kind of fell back a little bit, you know? I mean, he definitely got the shine that he deserved, but it was like, well, what happens to him now, you know? And that's what John Alba is talking about here. So I'm going to read these tweets to you, Meanie, and then I want you to give me your professional analysis on these tweets, okay? It's time for Dr. Meanie. Dr. Meanie. Okay, so I'll start from the top.
I could be.
There we go. Roman Reigns is really great, but this title reign is not helping a whole lot of people. There are an awful lot of you, apparently, who don't understand how feuds can be mutually beneficial, even if someone is booked as a dominant champion. A lot of you seem to think that this whole issue is about Roman Reigns when it's very much the opposite. It's about who comes out of his feuds and how they're positioned afterwards. Do people benefit from working in the ring with a top guy? Sure. What's that benefit when they're pushed right back to their original spot in the card after working with him or not featured at all? Who, in good faith, is a credible challenger aside from Brock Lesnar right now? If you think this is about no one beating Roman Reigns, that's not it either. I've been a proponent of the start of this reign of building to the payoff of someone beating him to get a big coronation. But as time passed, who is left? And what do you do until you get to them? I thought babyface Kevin Owens was the guy. They had superb chemistry, compelling segments and matches, and with fans coming back, Owens was the empathetic blue-collar babyface to get behind. It got burned quickly, and even after getting screwed in story, never got comeuppance. So where is he positioned now? Well, he spends the rest of the year without much direction, and he was elevated back to the main event scene wasn't elevated until he turned heel. So that's the issue here, right? Struggling to elevate credible baby faces, which is the very crux of wrestling.
In some ways, yeah, the creative is disjointed, but you know, the way you just described the whole Sami Zayn thing, to me, doesn't seem like it does any harm to Sami in the fact that A, he was going to face Roman Reigns, and B, it took, you know, Brock Lesnar to hit him with all these moves for Roman to be able to beat him. So he kind of got screwed, you know?
If I may, as a side note in the segment to that, sure. I do not believe that the Sami Zayn storyline is over. Right. And I genuinely believe that there is going to be some kind of swerve where Sami Zayn ends up with the title. I can't speak from any, and I'm not booking. I've never booked a wrestling show, folks. I've never worked in the industry. But what it appears to be is that there's going to be some sort of three-way dance here, and Sami Zayn is going to be involved in this. Roman Reigns has been very, very vocal in shoot interviews about how much he loves Sami Zayn, and the more Sami Zayn he can get on TV, the better. So I think this is a big part of that. But I'm just, again, I could be completely wrong. Go ahead, Meanie. I'm sorry.
No, but we live in a world where people want instant payoffs instead of letting things marinate. And I mean, if you look at the CM Punk MJF gimmick right now, you know, people are like, "Oh, how, you know, they're killing Punk's mystique and all this stuff." Well, you know, Punk comes out, he goes to have a match. MJF comes out, they do their promo battle. You know, and then next week, you know, MJF does something, Punk comes out, you know. Right. They're going to be doing this for, you know, the next couple, however longs. And then eventually it'll have to lead to some kind of confrontation. But like in the meantime, people are going, oh, they're just wasting Punk having them do these matches on TV. These matches on TV are leading to the fact that MJF can come out and bury him on the mic.
Right.
He could go. These matches are important because they lead to the back and forth between MJF and MJF running them down, and maybe he lights that spark underneath Punk, where Punk becomes the old school Punk, And the same way with WWE, you said this thing with Sami Zayn might not be over, but we live in such a microwave mentality where instead of cooking something for hours on end, we just throw it in the microwave and it's ready in 2 minutes.
Right, and then it's done, and then yeah. Go ahead.
We cook it, we consume it, we shit it out, and we're on to the next meal. So it's just where we are as a wrestling thing. But if you let it breathe and let it go, like saying that Roman Reigns' title reign isn't helping anybody. Well, it's kind of like back in the day when Flair was champion, he was going around to the territories. Flair would go to the territories and would work with whoever was in the territory. That person was had a little bit of shine on them, as Flair was on his way out. Well, in a way, if you're working with Roman, that's a tip of the cap that you're deserving of working with Roman. To me, Roman's one of the best workers in the world right now.
Well, Big E just go ahead.
Him and Orton, are the best workers right now.
Well, I think there's a reason why they give everybody who becomes a new champion a shot with Randy Orton, because he is the guy. I mean, the Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre stuff was fucking phenomenal. I don't care what anybody says. It was great. Yeah. Big E has said publicly that Roman Reigns, he didn't appreciate. I don't know if I'm probably paraphrasing, but something about I didn't appreciate Roman Reigns until I was in the ring with him. I didn't know how good he was until I got into the ring with him. But I mean, even Cesaro, like you have a bunch of these guys that the IWC is calling for to be in the title picture. You have Cesaro, I get Sami Zayn now, Kevin Owens, Big E, all of these people that you're trying to get back into the ring. And now no one has any patience, right? I want this storyline with Sami Zayn to go crazy, right? I want there to be a bunch of stuff. I want there to be all kinds of heat between these guys. I want there to be all kinds of things that are happening. If you guys are on Patreon right now, you can see my middle son, Danny, doing some animal impressions. But I want Sami Zayn to be a part of this storyline, because I think there's a really solid way for them to build between Brock and Roman and have it be totally chaotic, right? Totally insane. Have a huge swerve, because I think that's what you're going to get with this match. But I don't necessarily know if people are going to be patient enough, because it seems like WWE right now is reacting to folks who are responding in the audience, right? Like they're not letting things marinate. And because of that, things are getting a little bit more, it's not moving as quick as it should. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because I've been in a room where, when I was in WWE, and we were doing the Funkin' Dojo at the Titan Towers, and at the warehouse. We would go over to the towers for the day, work out, have breakfast, and we go into the cafeteria, and there would be these folks sitting around a TV watching the recent Shotgun Saturday Night or whatever. Right. And we sit there and this is 20 years ago. I don't know if they still do this now, but they go by what people are saying. What's the buzz?
Right.
WWE is huge on buzz, and they got people out there on the internet reading.
Oh, for
shit.
Sure, they have to. Yeah, they're not. This isn't something.
No, they do. I've heard from people who work there now and used to work there. They have people looking at the social media feed, paid specifically to look at the social media feeds, and and look at certain wrestlers, social media feeds, stuff like that. But and they go off based off of things like that. And that's why, even when something's horrible, people, it's perceived as horrible, they don't care, because people are talking about them. As much as people go online and say, oh, this show sucks, WWE's delighted because you're putting the product over. Even if something's horrible, if it's trending, that's putting eyeballs on the product. That's putting attention on the product. It sounds, stupid. It sounds, counterproductive, but, the best way, if you ever want to, bury WWE is to stop talking about it. Don't tweet about it. Don't watch it.
Right.
That's why I know I'm getting a little off course here.
Dude, this is the mind of the meanie, sir. This is not the mind of Adam Barnard. This is the mind of the meanie. Please, the floor is yours, sir. That's why I'm muting myself, because I want you to just keep going. Keep after it, man. Keep going.
But if people want change in WWE, just stop watching it. Don't talk. I feel for those people who it's explicitly their job to sit there and review and do show recaps. Imagine forcing yourself to watch something that you're going to hate.
Right. I guess like in some aspects, like I guess the guys from Fightful, like they have to, right? Because that's part of their business model and they have to watch that stuff. Solid Monster's the same way. But I can't even, like, could you imagine having to be forced to, like, oh my God, this show sucks. And you got to sit and watch it. Like, it's brutal, man. That sucks.
Dude, and as long as I've been a smart mark, or smart to the business, it seems like WWE's always been the heel, and whoever faces WWE is the baby face. As long as I've been like reading, like, and this is going back to like 92, 93, when I started reading the newsletters and stuff like that, WWE always the villains. Whoever goes up against WWE was the baby faces and stuff like that. So here we are now, and AEW is the main baby face, and WWE's the main heels and stuff like that. But getting back to that thing, if you're in the ring with Roman Reigns, that means something. That's a tip of the cap. That's a nod to say you're worthy of being in the ring with Roman Reigns. And even though Sami apparently got pinned in 11 seconds, but it took Brock Lesnar to destroy him leading up to.
Well, right. That's a really important distinction, too. That's a really important part of the story, is the fact that he went all the way through Brock Lesnar went all the way through Sami Zayn in order to stop Sami Zayn from winning. So the point is, again, and that's why I keep thinking this storyline isn't over. Something is going to happen. Something more is going to come from this, where they're going to bring Sami Zayn as a part of this. And that's what I'm wondering about, what's going to happen with Kevin Owens at day one as well, because now he's in the title picture. Or is he going to be the one that beats Seth Rollins instead of, keeping Big E looking strong, right? He's going to pin Seth Rollins to win the title. Big E still looks solid, and Kevin Owens is the champion, right? Is that something that you could imagine happening as far as like your experience with booking and things of that nature?
Yeah, that sounds something that's plausible. And, Sami comes out of this whole situation being more sympathetic, and fans will be like, create, get some sympathy on the, I don't know if he's total babyface now, but, get some sympathy on him.
The crowd really loved watching him getting his ass kicked, though. They really enjoyed watching him get beat up. And I mean, he was talking shit to Texas pretty much the entire time, right? So it wasn't like it was,
description,
right? But I mean, it could have been something along those lines, right? So I'm curious to see where this goes. Again, I'm very excited. If you guys what do you guys think about this? Let us know. Go to @MindOfTheMeanie. Tweet us right now. Meanie, you know what it's time for? It's time for Ask Meanie.
I would love to. It's time to ask me anything. Ask me something.
Ooh, all right. Let's go to the top. We got a couple questions here today. Don't forget, if you want to ask us any questions, tweet us @MindOfTheMeanie. You can tag Meanie on that at Blue Meanie BWO, and use the hashtag #AskMeanie. Anthony Camerata is asking, have you ever heard a rumor about yourself that wasn't true but sounded like a lot of fun?
Have I ever heard a rumor about myself that wasn't true but sounded like a lot of fun? Not really, because most of the rumors I hear about me are people going, I thought you were dead.
Oh, man.
And that's a lovely one to hear. Somebody comes up to you and go, Blue Meanie, I thought you were dead. And like no sense of, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that to somebody. Obviously, he's not dead. He's in front of me. So I probably should go up to this person who's, well, really alive and say, hey, I thought you were dead. I don't know.
How often does that happen, though? Does that happen pretty often?
Once every like maybe 2 years or something like that. You get some fucking
Jesus.
goof at a convention going, I thought you were dead.
Who says that stuff? Also, before we keep going, I forgot we have to crack our drinks. We have to give a little seltzer.
Ooh.
Did you? I can crack for us today.
Please.
All
Yeah,
right,
I got so sidetracked with.
Well, you also have coffee with the eggnog, so I get it, man. Trust me. I'll crack one for us here today before we continue going. Nice little seltzer kiss on the microphone. So go ahead, continue. I apologize.
Oh no, look, and this is why you're a part of the team. You got my back.
I do.
And sometimes my front.
Sometimes it depends on context. It depends on where we are and what we've been doing for the day. Really, that happens. Okay, it's just things that happen.
You're good people, and that's why I
that.
appreciate you having my back with the seltzer. So
hey, man, I'm here.
I'm slipping at my own gimmick, man.
Hey, dude, but you know what, man? I just cracked it for us. I can double the sound up. It's gonna be fine, man.
In the words of Trent Reznor, what have I become?
Hey, man, let's see what else we got going on here on Ask Meanie. Oh, yeah, like people saying that shit. Yeah, that's crazy.
A little pro tip. If you're at a convention, you see a wrestler that you heard was dead and they're clearly alive, don't remind them that you heard that they were dead. Here's the shame of it, right? It sucks to say that to somebody. It sucks to make somebody feel that way, that somebody thought they were dead, right? But that doesn't do any of the fans, the good fans, any favors, because it's this small hive of shithead fans that ruin it for the whole fan base, because that'll spoil, wrestler, whoever, so and so will be like, well, fuck the fans now, and there's a lot of good fans out there that had to pay the price for the small amount of shitheads.
And that's, I guess that's sort of my thing sometimes with the podcasting world is like, I'm not cocky. I'm just confident in my abilities, right? I think I'm a good interviewer,
No, you are.
I think I have good conversation. I have great conversation with people, but it's extremely difficult when you're like, oh, I have a podcast and I interview people. They're like, no, thanks. We don't want to be a part of that. It's because there's been like mountains and mountains of shitheads who basically ask stupid questions and say stupid things and kind of have like fucked it up for everybody. So now like when you're actually like somebody like Josh or somebody like Chris Van Vliet or any of these guys like us who do these really amazing conversations, all of a sudden now it's like, oh, no, thanks. We don't want to be a part of that, And I think it's kind of the same thing. It's like you have these wrestling fans who are marks, like mouth-breathing idiots who ask you guys stupid questions and say stupid shit. I correct people in my own personal life now, just from our relationship. When we've talked, I correct people. It's like, oh, that's not the right terminology. You don't want to say that. Like that's not, it doesn't mean what you think it means, I don't know. I can imagine that would be extremely frustrating. And also too, it's condescending, but it's also like unnecessarily hurtful,
Yeah, you're good. Josh is good. Chris Van Vliet, and I'm trying to think of the dude who does the Don Morocco podcast. He is really good. British fella. He just put up an interview with Headbanger Mosh. That's really good. But I wish I could think of his name off. He did a book on Owen Hart and a book on The Rock, too.
I'm looking him up right now. I'm just trying to find the name of the show. I found Don Morocco's magnificent podcast on Podbean. Let's see. What is this guy's name? I apologize. We're going to find out for you, and we're going to get it to you, get that information up for you as well. Let's get to a couple of other questions.
I got to give that guy a shout out just because I watch his stuff every day, and he's a fun interview. So there's him, you, Josh, Chris Van Vliet.
I want to shout out
Paul too.
Paul Bromwell as well. Paul Bromwell is fucking fantastic. Wonderful guy.
Yeah, when it comes to that, he does everything, but Paul Bromwell's the man. Yeah, he's finding his own voice, He's a part of that 3 shows, but he's easily a breakout star of that crew.
Absolutely, yeah. And what was the name you said as I was bringing up Paul? Who was the person you mentioned?
The Hannibal channel.
Yes.
Where he's at Hannibal TV. He's a good guy.
Yeah. I'm going to try to find, they don't have any information on this guy's name anywhere. Hold on one second. I got to find this because I don't want to let this slide without knowing what the hell this guy's name is.
I want to get the guy's propers.
Let's see. Don Morocco. Here he is. Nancy, let me see. Owen Hart, King of Pranks. Here we go. And Dwayne. James Romero. That's his name.
James Romero. Shout out to you, my friend.
Man.
Go follow his channel. He's got the Don Morocco channel. And I think it's Wrestling Shoot Interviews.
Yes.
Because now he put on his mic WSI Wrestling Shoot Interviews. James Romero, did you say?
James Romero. Yes, that was his name. Yep.
Not to be confused or Romero, the director.
Yeah, correct. Yes, that would be somebody different. Yeah. Mark in Dryden asked, what was more painful to watch? The last couple of years of World Class or the AWA?
Ooh, that's a good question, man.
Could we throw like Russo WCW in that too?
Here's the weird thing. I really didn't watch that much. Like there's a lot of stuff I'm on WCW I'm watching now because like when I was in WWE, we're just so
focused.
Focused. But I would have to say that the last days of AWA, because eventually they were just doing, they were doing studio wrestling towards the end there.
Yeah.
You know, there was that Team Challenge series they did where Jake the Milkman Milliman, won the turkey over Lord James Blears or whatever. Not Lord James Blears, Colonel De Beers. Oh my God, that was kind of hard to watch. Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking.
All sounds terrible, dude. Fucking brutal to watch, man.
They kind of had the original Thunderdome there. They did that thing where people were walking down the hallway with, I guess it's a green screen. They got the fans in there or whatever.
Yeah.
Something weird. But man, then the World Class, at least they still had some fans,
Yeah. The AWA got basically just gutted at a certain point, right? I mean, once Hogan was out and Vince kind of pilfered and through the entire organization. I mean, there really wasn't a lot left, right?
And the shame of that is it was Vern not keeping up with the times.
Yeah.
If you read, I don't know if you read Gary Michael Capetta's book, Body Slam.
No.
I highly recommend it. But first of all, he said he was Gary Michael Capetta was ring announced for AWA, and Vern came up to him and goes, how was this week's TV? Like, as in, and Gary took it as, you want my opinion? He's like, no, I didn't watch it. My local cable channel in Minnesota doesn't get he wasn't able to watch his own TV because I guess he blamed the cable company not carrying the station that they were on.
But bro, it's your company. It's your company.
Bro, don't you have a VCR?
Like, dude, what the fuck, man?
Gary just said he just stood there like, what?
Good God, dude.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, talk about shooting yourself in the foot and shooting yourself in the foot between, letting Hogan go over some merch money,
Yeah. That could have been huge.
We tried to keep all of Hulk's t-shirt money.
Wow.
And then he wanted part of Hulk's Japan money.
Oh, yeah, no way.
Hulk said, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Stroking the Fu Manchu. That doesn't work for me, brother. Now,
I really heard the AWA first time I saw AWA besides the Aftermags was, because of Hulk Hogan. Hogan was, every city had their like regional magazine show, PM magazine, evening magazine, and Philly had evening magazine. Some cities had PM magazine. But they would do personality profiles on Hulk Hogan, and you're seeing like video of Hogan against Saito and Ken Patera, smashing a trophy and all this stuff.
Yeah,
Hulk hitting the double biceps, and they're interviewing him and stuff. It's like, I gotta see Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
and then like a couple months later, Bob Backlund brings him out when he's wrestling the Samoans, Backlander lost the title.
Right.
And he was going to Samoans, and he was outnumbered, so he went to the locker room and brought out Hogan. And
the rest is history.
Yeah, the launch of the Hulkamania era.
It's crazy how quick how a decision was made. Clearly, a decision was made there to that changed the course of wrestling history, which is just. It's just nuts, man. Like I can't even really wrap my mind around it. But speaking of nuts, Meanie, autumn is in the air. The pumpkins are in the patch, and our friends at Manscaped are here to make sure you don't carve your pants pumpkins while you're grooming, if you know what I'm saying. Make sure you're keeping things fresh this fall with the leaders in male grooming and their brand new 4th generation performance package. Boys, get ready for cuffing season like no other. Are you ready to take the leap into fall with Manscaped? Join the 2 million men worldwide using Manscaped by going to manscaped.com right now for 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code MEANIE20. It's time to bundle up with Manscaped's Performance Package 2.0. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. First off, the new Performance Package 4.0 includes the new Lawnmower 4.0. If you're looking to cozy up this fall, this trimmer is essential. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. It also gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. Plus, Meanie, it's waterproof. I had this experience in the shower the other day. Little John and the Eastside Boys were looking a little raggedy. They were looking a little rough, and I'm like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I can't take my regular razor in the shower because that's fucking disgusting. You got to get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. Got that spotlight in the shower and the waterproof. Made everything look absolutely fantastic. How's everything looking down there right now with your Little John and the Eastside Boys?
Southside Johnny and the Jukes are doing pretty good. So you taking a sip of water there, so.
It's so good, man. It's so good.
Shout out to Manscaped. They sent me the body wash.
Ooh.
The body wash and the all-in-one shampoo conditioner.
Wow.
And these really cool containers. These things feel like they could be weapons. They're like a metal container with the pumps and stuff like that. So when you're in the shower and you want to smell like a damn handsome man, they got the Manscaped body wash and the shampoo and conditioner, which I use on my head, and I put a little bit through the meanie beard, and my hair's feeling nice and soft and smooth. So
it's great. It's great to have the softness, and also too, you want to make sure that your balls are soft as well by using these products. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker to chop your worst weeds up top in your nose and your ear. The nose and ear hair trimmer uses a 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual blade system to provide proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps prevent nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate areas. And trust me, nothing is fucking worse than getting your nose cut while you're cutting your nose hair. I used one of those off-brand nose hair trimmers the other day because as I'm getting older now, I'm getting closer to 40 than I am to being 20, and I'm getting a lot of these long nose hairs, man. It looks like I got freaking weeds growing out, right? Literally looks like it's coming out. I use that.
It's like the straw man riding a picket fence.
It really is. It really feels like it's crawling out of my nose. I use that Weed Whacker, chop them right up, and now it is fresh and smooth. Guys, don't go into fall looking like you have a button in a fur coat. Get ready to Get ready to impress her like crazy by using Manscaped. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. Everybody knows pumpkin spice lattes and ball deodorant go hand in hand, meaning I can tell you from experience they absolutely do. Then after trimming the pumpkin patch and whacking the leaves, give your balls a boost and use the Crop Reviver. Manscaped's even throwing in 2 free gifts in their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Get comfy on the go and at home this season. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code MEANIE20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping when you use the promo code MEANIE20 at manscaped.com. Make your balls a priority this fall. Don't look like a button in a fur coat. Choose Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. And Blue Meanie, I must thank you again for allowing me to be here as the temporary tour guide and stepdaddy extraordinaire as well on the Mind of the Meanie. Where can everybody find your stuff, man?
Well, before I do that, shout out to Vanessa Bello in our chat room says, Manscaped, deck the halls and trim your log and your sweaty balls.
I love my sweaty balls.
Why Manscaped does not hire Vanessa Bello to write their ad reads is beyond me.
Vanessa is writing, like, it feels like Vanessa is just the pen and Vanessa are just magic. Magic.
Yes.
Manscaped, you're making a mistake. You should do this.
I dare you. Seriously, no, dude. Thank you for being here. You're part of the family. You're part of the team. I've said this before, and it bears repeating. Josh said, "Hey, there's this dude named Adam. I think it would be good for the times I can't be here." I was like, "You say he's good? He's good." And then we start doing a couple shows, and yeah, you're good, man. So
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
It also helps that you're a PA boy, so
helps. Go Birds, first and foremost. Go Birds.
Yes,
as always.
Because if you were like a Dallas fan, that'd be a hard show to fucking do.
God, dude. If I was a Dallas fan, I'd punch myself in the mouth. So where can everyone find you? My brother was like that. My older brother, he listens to the show. My brother Matt. He was always a front runner when we were kids, and it was always the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bulls. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking up, man. You're just fucking up liking the Cowboys. Someday this is going to come back. And I told you, Matt, it came back. But anyway, go ahead.
So get back to Thanksgiving real quick. I have one of those nephews. Well, he's a great nephew, grandnephew, whatever. He's my niece's kid. So
okay.
He's at that age where whatever you like, he's going to like the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching the Cowboys game and rooting against Cowboys, and he's like, "I like the Cowboys." I was like, "Get the fuck out of this house."
You're disowned. Get out.
I don't care if you're 12. Get the fuck out.
Walk the fuck home.
Tell me who the bad man is that hurt you, that made you like the Cowboys.
Oh, shit. Speaking of hurting people, dude. Al.
What?
Like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? Every single time I'm on the show, Al is going to and we just did a recent episode of Foundation Radio where we watched the Kennel from Hell match. So I'm already probably in the doghouse. Get it? You like what I did there? Already in the doghouse with Al. Now I forgot to bring him in on the show.
Here's the thing. Ad Free Shows is having Al on this Monday, and Josh is supposed to be the host.
Oh.
So I hope they don't forget Al on his own show.
That's really what I'm hoping that doesn't happen, is that they forget Al.
I don't want to get off his Christmas card list. He's been my friend for over 28 years, just fucking hell.
Al Snow is a genuinely terrifying human being, and I'm afraid that I'm going to end up in some Kirifuda clutch, and I'm going to be just choked out. And so Al Snow, I'm looking right at the camera. I apologize. I promise next time I'm here, I will bring you on the show.
Al, it's his fault.
It's my fault. It's my name is Josh Chernoff. Anyway, make sure if you're not a top guy, go be a top guy right now at adfreeshows.com. Again, free plug, because those guys are fucking awesome. I love everybody on the Ad Free Shows team. But Real Daddy Josh Chernoff is going to be over there helping out with the Top Guys program that's featuring Al Snow on Monday. So make sure you do yourself a favor and go sign up right now. But also join us on Patreon at patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. Get registered today, because why shouldn't you? Because we're fucking amazing. You get to see our lovely faces every week when we do the show. So, Meanie, we'll be here. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Meanie, where can we find you on social media, pal?
You can find me down at the docks with Tommy and Gina.
You gotta warn me before you do that stuff.
No, I don't. That's why I said that, because I saw you take this up and walk.
Fuck, man. Go ahead.
Find me on social media at Blue Meanie BWO across all social media platforms. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to pressontees.com/Blue Meanie. Right now, I got the BWO ugly Christmas sweater t-shirt up there, so get that in time for the holidays. If you want to support Mind of the Meanie, go to pressontees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Also go to mindofthemeanie.com, where you can listen to this podcast every Monday morning at 6 a.m. So I didn't really do a boo-boo there.
No.
support Josh Chernoff across all social media platforms at So Says Chernoff. Go to prowrestlingtees.com/So Says Chernoff. And if you want, it's the holidays. We just did Thanksgiving, but Christmas is coming up. Go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO, where I can give you a good holiday wish. I just did a message for somebody's wedding anniversary, and a whole bunch of good stuff. So the reviews are in 5 stars across the board. Go to cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO. And how about you, my good friend?
Well, thank you, Blue Meanie. I appreciate your time as always. I always appreciate you and Josh letting me hang out with you guys. I feel like the real third wheel, but in a good way right now. I feel like the third co-pilot on this show, and I love it. I love every time I get to hang out with you guys. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at @ThisIsGoober. You can also see the tweet that Paul Heyman sent me on my top of the screen. A fantastic tweet until you realize he identifies himself as Goober. The wise man has blessed me, and I feel so grateful. Find me on Twitter at @ThisIsGoober. You can also follow my show, Foundation Radio, at FND Radio Pod on Twitter. Every Tuesday, we're doing episodes. I've had a bunch of interviews. Recently, my biggest one is with the Washington Post author Robert Costa, who is a very close friend of mine. Talk about his best-selling book, Peril, which is about the 2020 election. Highly recommend checking that out. We're also doing some fun stuff on the show. My co-executive producer, Sam Krebs, is not a wrestling fan, so I force him to watch shitty wrestling. We just recently watched the Kennel from Hell match. We watched Undertaker Goldberg, and the first match, obviously, which is the one we had to do, was Hogan Warrior 2, which might be the worst match I've ever seen. Next week, oh my God, man, what a drag. So if you guys have any ideas in the pod squad, send them over to me so I can torture Sam with this really terrible wrestling. But feel free to, like I said, foundationradio.net. Every Tuesday, you can find it anywhere you find your podcasts alongside of mine of Meanie, Blue Meanie. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Josh Chernoff will be returning next week to tickle your earbuds. For the Blue Meanie and Josh Chernoff, my name is Adam Barnard, and we will see you again in a couple weeks or whenever I am back. But you'll see Meanie and Josh next week. Peace. Bye.
Blue World Order.
That was Blue Meanie's brain out.
The world of MLW radio never stops.